Uchiha clan has produced a lot of legendary ninjas such as Itachi, Matara, Shisui, Sasuke, Fugaku, etc. However, there is one ninja who unfortunately got very little screen time in the series, and that ninja was Kagami Uchiha. Today I want to talk about him, but before starting I want to ask you all to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more. I hope you all have a great day. Now let's start the video. Well, Kagami Uchiha made his debut in Naruto chapter 481 in a flashback of a dying Danzo. In this flashback, we could see a scene from the First Ninja World War, during which he and his teammates from the escort unit accompanied the second Hokage on a mission. Pursued and ultimately surrounded by Kumogakure's Kinkaku squad, the group discussed their options, where Kagami noted that Koharu's plan of an ambush wouldn't work, and that instead a diversion was needed to lure the enemy away. He then listened as the second Hokage, who had nominated himself as the decoy, appointed Hiruzen as the third Hokage. However, this wasn't the only time we saw Kagami Uchiha in the series. In Naruto Shippuden episode 369, Kagami was amongst the first few hundred students to attend and graduate the academy. We could see him sitting next to Torifu Akimichi at the academy. Later in that episode, we could see Kagami standing next to Torifu and two unknown females watching the spar between young Hiruzen and Danzo. We know that Kagami was a member of the escort unit, which was an elite team under the leadership of the second Hokage, Tobirama Senju. We know that this group consisted of 7 members, including their leader, the second Hokage himself. The members of this unit were Hiruzen Sarutobi, Koharu Utatane, Homura Mitokado, Danzo Shimura, Kagami Uchiha, and Torifu Akimichi. 3 members of this group were teammates. Hiruzen, Koharu, and Homura were members of Team Tobirama. However, we don't know which team members were the remaining 3, due to the fact that even during the flashback scene, Kagami and Torifu are depicted as close friends since they are seen together almost all the time. This makes me think that Kagami and Torifu, along with Danzo Shimura, were teammates. We know how strong Danzo was, but what about Torifu Akimichi? Well, according to the 4th Naruto databook, Torifu was a powerful shinobi, well known throughout the ninja world. His physical prowess is remarkably high, a feat he is very proud of. Although the full extent of his abilities are unknown, as an Akimichi, Torifu can convert calories into chakra in order to perform his clan's secret techniques. He was also seemingly proficient with wielding a bow and also used a shield in battle. Also, just like all the other teammates, he survived the First Ninja World War, and decades later he was seen alongside Hiruzen, Homura, and Koharu, as well as other shinobi directly engaging the Nine Tails after it was set loose on the village. When they were finally able to drive the beast outside the village's limits, Hiruzen called for them to continue to attack the beast. But who could be the leader of the team of Torifu, Danzo, and Kagami? I can think of 2 people. The first one who comes to mind is Matara Uchiha. We know that after the Hidden Leaf was created for some time, Matara was an active ninja from the Hidden Leaf who was wearing a headband of the Hidden Leaf as it was shown during his confrontation with Mu and Onoki. Also, we know that the Uchiha clan members need special teachers, someone who would help them to develop and master their Sharingan. That was one of the main reasons why Sasuke was placed in Team Kakashi. We know that Matara was one of the strongest, if not the strongest, Sharingan user in the history of Naruto, and he would be a great teacher for his team, especially for Kagami. But the anime episode strongly suggests that Hiruzen, Danzo, Torifu, and Kagami were still academy ninjas after Matara left the village, which means that there is very little chance of Matara being the leader. Fortunately, besides Matara, Hashirama, and Tobirama, there was also another legendary ninja in the Hidden Leaf, and that ninja was Sasuke Sarutobi. I won't talk about him much in this video since I've made a separate video about him, where I talk about Sasuke Sarutobi in much greater detail. I recommend you watch it, the link will be in the description. But according to the 4th Naruto databook, he was a ninja that the 3rd Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, admired and looked up to. His name was Sarutobi Sasuke. He was Hiruzen's own father. Hiruzen's talent, who had mastered all the 5 nature transformations and was called Professor, is an inheritance from his great father, Sarutobi Sasuke. During a conversation with Biwaku Sarutobi and Kushina Uzumaki, Mikoto Uchiha noted that she named her son after Sasuke in the hopes that the boy would become a splendid ninja just like his namesake. So we can see that the lore really hypes up Sarutobi Sasuke a lot, and I'm very disappointed that we never got to see him. That's why a couple days ago I made a separate video about him. The link to the video will be in the comments. So I think that Sasuke Sarutobi being the leader of this team makes sense, especially since he was very famous among the Uchiha clan members, which suggests that he had history with them, and had knowledge on the Sharingan and helped young Kagami to develop his dojutsu. I think after Kagami became Jonin, he was trained by Tobirama Senju himself, which would explain why Tobirama knew so much about Kagami's personality. According to Tobirama, along with a strong devotion towards his own clan, Kagami was noted to be greatly dedicated to the protection of Konoha, having accomplished much for the sake of the village. His sense of loyalty was so great, he never fell victim to his clan's curse of hatred, something that normally had a high probability of happening after awakening the Sharingan. For this reason, he was one of the few Uchiha that Tobirama believed in, as well as one of the 6 people Tobirama chose to work directly under him. I believe Kagami was training with Tobirama Senju. This training allowed Tobirama to study the Sharingan in much greater detail, which would later grant him unusual knowledge about this dojutsu. Another interesting thing about him is his design. When we look at him closely, we can see that he looks like Shisui Uchiha a lot, which made a lot of people think that those two can be related. And that theory was true. In the 4th Naruto databook, it is confirmed that Kagami was an ancestor of Shisui's, but we don't know exactly what relation those two had. Well, from the 4th Naruto databook, we know that Kagami died when he was 25, a few years after Hiruzen became Hokage, assuming they are the same age. If Shisui was the son of Kagami and was born when Kagami was 25 years old, Shisui would be 43, which is kind of old for him to be close friends with Itachi. Though not impossible, but it would be very weird since he would also be older than Itachi's father. If Shisui was a grandson of Kagami Uchiha, that means Kagami had a child at the age of 25 at the latest, and then that child would have Shisui. Then Shisui at the youngest would be 28, assuming Shisui was born when Kagami's child was 16, which means Shisui died when he was 22. Kishimoto made a very weird decision when he avoided saying Shisui was a son or grandson of Kagami. I don't understand why he did not just say that Shisui was the grandson of Kagami. Anyway, let's talk about his powers. As an Uchiha, Kagami had very powerful chakra. He was one of the members that were able to awaken his clan's Kekkei Genkai, the Sharingan. In Naruto Shippuden episode 358, his visual prowess was praised by Danzo for saving his life many times. Also in the same episode, Kagami's descendant, Shisui, who in Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution was hailed as the strongest Uchiha of his time and a wielder of the Mangekyo Sharingan, openly admitted he was inferior to his ancestor. This says a lot about how strong Kagami is. It seems he was a very powerful ninja of his time, and I think there was a very big chance that he had the Mangekyo Sharingan as well, since I find it difficult for Shisui to regard himself weaker than Kagami, if he did not have the Mangekyo in the first place. But since that statement was anime only, we can take it as a filler. I really wonder how and why Kagami died so early. He was only 25 at the time of his death. I imagine that he sacrificed his life for the village and died during one of the most important missions for the Leaf, which forever marked him as a legend in Konoha. Anyway, I guess that's all for today. What do you guys think about Kagami Uchiha? How strong was he? Let me know in the comments, like this video, and subscribe to this channel for more. I hope you all have a great day. Astrojack out. Bye.